Hey, Emily.
What?
How's it about me and you go in the woods and pitch a tent?
Gross. Fuck you. You know I hate camping and tents.
No, that's not what I was talking about. You missed my point.
Oh, what?
Hey, guys. It's your favorite final girl and boy, Emily and Nick, as well as a new babysitter, Mike, coming at you with a new episode of Gag Me with a Knife, a weekly podcast where we dissect, disembowel, and shred the best and worst slasher movies. This week, we will be continuing our Backwoods Slasher Month as we hike through 1981's Just Before Dawn, also known as Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls. As usual, Emily has the back of a VHS box, so let's put on our camping gear and hear what's on the back of that box.
It's short and sweet. Who will live? Who will die? Human survival at any cost. The hunted resort to the same animal instincts as the hunters in this unique struggle for life. 1981. Before I say your thoughts, I just want to say that to me it was just before yawn.
No, I liked it.
Okay, well.
No, I enjoyed it.
Yeah. I thought it was a yawn fest.
I liked Connie.
I know you liked Connie. I mean, her butt was pretty banging.
Yeah.
Especially with Megan's shorts on. But, no, I mean, I thought the setting was pretty. But, I mean,
yeah.
I don't like to camp or hike. And I could just watch National Geographic.
No, you should get out there sometime. It's really nice.
Okay. With my DEET lotion, maybe.
Yeah.
No,
DEET
it's
toothpaste.
hot. It's hot. No, I'm not meant to be out there. I'm not meant to be a lot of places.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, by the end of this, we're going to figure out if you're meant to be on this podcast.
Yeah, boy. Oh, my own. Okay.
Mike, you want to get us started?
Yeah.
All right. So
Try to fire me from my own fucking podcast.
Yeah, we'll talk afterwards.
I'm taking over.
I'm taking over.
All right.
One
So
city at
we
a
start
time.
out
Sorry.
with a beautiful long shot of the red dawn in the Oregon mountains. And then the credits are rolling. We cut to Ty and Vachel, two guys drinking in a church.
It's Vachel.
Vachel.
It's Ted, and Ted is
What
what's
the
his face from Sleepaway Camp.
What the hell is a
Ty.
vachel?
Ty.
It's like Rachel with a V.
Yeah, but no, it's spelled. He says Vachel. But Ted or Tide, whatever his name is, he's played by the camp director of Sleepaway Camp.
Mike Killen.
Yeah, I liked him.
Okay, so yeah, the camp director from Sleepaway Camp and his nephew are getting drunk in a church, and he's giving a fake sermon about the Holy Spirits. And there's a hole in the ceiling of this church, and he looks up and he sees this big, funky-looking man drooling down through the hole. And
His face is so funny right there.
He stops
Vachel.
talking, and he just starts backing away, and so he tells his
Well, he's drunk, too.
yeah. What are
Ted
they
and
spelling?
Vachel.
Did anybody see the brand name on that?
It looked
Label?
like
No.
it looked like some Mad Dog 2020 or
It
some
was
shit.
brown liquor. So
Brown liquor.
Oh, that was the. I mean, I know you're not saying the color. You're saying that was the.
no, it was just a brown liquid.
Oh, okay. You don't know what.
So I'm guessing it was whiskey or.
I mean, I
dark
thought it was
rum.
whiskey, but yeah, probably bottom of the barrel.
Lipton iced tea.
So he sees this leering creep in the hole in the ceiling. So he doesn't say anything. He just he goes outside, starts walking around, and the truck that they had come to the church in, I guess, just flies past him, hits a tree and explodes.
By Ted or Tide.
Yeah. But yeah, it comes by Ted, whatever his name is. And then he hears Vachel
It was
screaming.
Ty. Why? Oh, I said Ty. His name's Ty. I'm
His
sorry.
name's Ty. I don't know why
I
you keep
said
saying
Ted because I wrote an
Ted.
and an ampersand, and it looks like a Ted D. So
I was kinda wondering.
I
was like, I don't remember having a hard time with. Sorry, I don't remember having this hard of a time with his name while I was watching this movie. So
I was wondering about these backwoods names. They were getting kind of out of hand. Tid and Vachel.
Ted and Vachel. It's
Ty.
Ty and Vachel.
Ty.
But
I mean, that's a long stretch from
So their
Shlomo
truck
and Polly.
comes screaming down the hill past him, and he hears Vachel screaming in the distance.
Because Vachel
Is getting a vagina.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
It was pretty cool. He gets stabbed through the dick with a serrated machete.
The machete pops out his ass.
Big boy.
Shit comes out his butthole, cuz.
Big boy wanted that vest and that toboggan, okay? Because he puts it on immediately. He wanted Vatchel's clothes.
No, they want new clothes, man.
Yeah. Like, also, I loved it when Ty turns around and sees the guy putting on his Vatchel's toboggan and vest, and he's like, Vatchel?
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, he looks so much like Vatchel. That big old fucking fat ass looks exactly like, whatever, you know. Who did he look like?
I don't care. I don't care who, as long as I don't know. I want everybody to keep saying Vatchel.
Well, I was kind of confused.
Really
I thought when he saw the killer and thought it was Vatchel, did he saw Vatchel's face?
Did he
no,
saw?
He did. Well, Chainsaw Massacre, you know. That's
No, he didn't.
fake.
He just, he's
Just a fake
drunk.
guy. He's just really ugly.
And drunk.
So then we cut to the van. There are 5 people in the van, 3 males, 2 females. We got Warren, Jonathan, Daniel, Megan, and Constance. They are jamming out to Blondie's Heart of Glass.
Yeah,
Yes.
it said in my subtitles when I was watching it,
yes.
it said, first of all, it gave away the killer thing by calling him something. We spoil every movie. They called him Mountain Twin. So,
Yeah, Mountain Twin.
from the beginning, the subtitle says Mountain Twin, and I was like, okay.
That's why I don't use subtitles on English speaking.
And then, but when this song came on, the subtitle said upbeat new wave music.
It is.
I'm always afraid though I'll miss them. That's why I like having subtitles. But anyway, no, it's not new wave. Heart of Glass is a disco song.
Yeah.
But
From
it
a
is
new wave
important
band.
to know that
Very upbeat.
Constance is dating Warren.
Yes.
Jonathan is dating Megan, and Daniel is Jonathan's brother.
Jonathan's brother.
Yeah.
Right. So we see Warren driving and chugging a beer, and then Daniel is gonna snap a couple of photographs out the window, and we see these 2 poor Appalachian-looking children, and they start talking about twins.
Yep.
We'll save that for later.
Didn't at this point he said something about the mountain soul, and I was just like, God.
Yeah,
You
I'm
gotta
so
be- you
tired
gotta
of this
become
fucking
one with
nature
the mountain
bullshit
soul.
being one with it. Shut the fuck up.
Well, they
that's
never
rock climbing.
get back around to any
Rock
of that
climbing
shit.
101. They get back to the twin thing.
yeah, but they get back to nothing else.
There's no rock climbing.
Yeah, they don't climb any rocks.
Yeah,
There is some climbing,
but it
it's
does. So it doesn't. That's when it cuts to George Kennedy, aka Roy, rambling.
It's my boy Luke.
Yeah.
Well, first we see Ty running
hard
through
line.
the woods, and that's when they hit the weird deer head, but then can't find the deer.
Yeah.
They stop to investigate. There's like a deer head jumps in front of the car. It's
Yeah.
the windshield. They stop the van. Warren gets out. He gets a weird feeling, but doesn't find a deer.
Yeah. I got
But
confused
when he
about
gets
that
in the
scene, and I
van,
was just
he
like,
lies
okay.
to them and says, "Oh yeah, the deer ran right off," even though he didn't see anything.
Did he? Yeah. I was just like, okay.
He shows off his whistle. Then we hear, but then
he shows off his whistle.
Yeah, he's
He's
got
come
the-
back.
then we zoom in on a horse's nose, and it's making agitated horse noises.
Yeah.
And we meet George Kennedy's park ranger.
Yeah,
and,
his
and
name's
his horse
Roy.
Agatha.
And we don't know his horse's name yet because he's way too into talking about botany at this point.
No, we're watching him splice plants together.
Yeah.
Talking to Lucille, the fern.
Also, I don't remember what other movie there was
That's
a
my
bunch
girl,
of botany.
Lucille.
We've like covered kind of recently. I feel like there was a lot of plant talk in it, and I'm really over.
No,
Botany.
well, I mean, we should never have done those episodes on the entire Karate Kid series.
No, there was a movie recently where we were like, they just won't stop talking about plants, and that's what really gets me off, talking about plants all the fucking time.
Was it the Little Shop of Horrors?
No, I don't remember what it was, but I just know that I'm fucking sick of botany.
Oh, okay.
And he does
Emily
say
doesn't like vegetables.
What he says. He's.
I
Yeah,
know
well,
that
I know
George
it's in a
Kennedy says to
minute.
the horse, he says, "I got a good mind to whip you till Tuesday."
He
Yeah,
says
I
it
was
to the
like,
plant too.
But
Wilbur.
Then the 5 campers pull up, and George is is like, shut that bull thing off. And they show Warren's got this deed for some of the land up there. He's trying to tell them, don't go up there.
Yeah, Warren. Yeah.
The deed doesn't mean anything.
He says only a fool would do that. And I was like, go camping? Yeah.
He says the mountain can't read.
Yeah, no, that right. Yeah. I was like,
we assumed that.
Well, first, like, Megan was pretty rude to Roy, by the way. So, and she was on Falcon Crest. He was on Dallas. So I was like, fight there?
Uh-oh.
No, they were. I don't think they were on the show
That's
yet.
Freak
But
Drebin's partner you're talking about.
he says, that deed don't mean nothing. That's not true. It does.
It does.
And then he says, that mountain can't read. That is true, actually. That's a true fact. That mountain can't read. Okay?
So Warren then lies about where they're going. He says they're going to Silver Lake when they're actually going to the opposite side
Yeah,
of the map.
because he goes, basically, tell me where you're going so when you die, the paperwork's easier. That's basically what he says to him.
Good park ranger.
I mean, well, you know, Law and Order is, if they really wanted to do a real crime procedural, they have more of the wire kind of stuff in there where it's all paperwork.
I hate paperwork.
What's law, paperwork, and order?
I hate all those things.
I mean, it's like dun-dun, law, paperwork, mostly paperwork, a little bit of order, a little bit of law. Anyway, go ahead.
So we're back in the van, and he explains that he was lying to the ranger because he didn't want old Smokey Bear coming and peeing on the campfires. And then we have some nice National Geographic scenery. Daniel swears that he sees somebody, so they get out and investigate for a second time. And again, they don't see anything, but Connie wants to look again, and then Ty, still running from the demons.
Sorry.
He's running from the Tid running from the demons. Scared. There's a little jump scare action
But
there.
it wasn't really that good of a jump scare
No,
or that creepy.
But have you noticed how
Not the only bad jump scare
he has
either.
carried that bottle of liquor?
Yeah.
Completely just like, no, that's it. I think that's why he ran in the first place. He was like, somebody's after my hooch.
Also, it was, well, he's kind of like supposed to be like the crazy Ralph character, but he's not as good at it because he's not really as creepy. So I don't know.
He's just dirtier.
Maybe like hide the bottle, Ty, if you want to ride somewhere.
He could just put it in his back pocket. It's a pint bottle.
Yeah. I mean, because, yeah. Well, they don't give him he needs a ride. They won't give him a ride. Yeah.
They won't give him the ride.
I wouldn't either.
Warren and Jonathan agree
Maybe if
that
you put
he
up
can't
the
come.
bottle and act like a normal fucking person.
Or share it.
But he's literally begging them for a ride, and they toss him 2 sandwiches so he won't die to
Yeah, they're like,
starvation.
here, you can eat. He's like, I don't need to eat. I need to get away from this demon. I was like, also, maybe if
he
you
needs
don't
some bread
call
in his
it...
stomach.
Yeah, if you said your friend was murdered by a fat guy.
Maybe if you just said, I saw a fat guy murder my friend,
Yeah, that'll just lure him up.
then maybe they'll listen instead of just calling it a demon because you're drunk off of not that much of that whiskey because there was a lot left in that bottle.
I think Tid's a lightweight.
Tid. Yeah.
He's just a crazy drunk man running down the mountain. So they leave him. They throw
It's
sandwiches
not
out the window.
uncommon.
And
But
as soon as they're leaving,
yeah.
Megan starts putting on makeup in the van, and they hit a bump. And all you see is Ty, like, takes a big swill. He's laughing, falls down on the ground, pointing.
Yeah.
And then we can see through the back window that the killer.
Yeah,
at
I
this
guess the
point.
killer, before you know better, jumps on the back of the RV.
Yeah. And they're like, Meg, why are you putting on makeup? We're in the middle of nowhere. And she's like, they said there were demons. We don't know how good looking they are.
I mean, it's a hilarious, a hilarious dedication for this killer to have. But okay.
So then we cut to some more pretty scenery, and they finally get out of the van about the 20-minute mark of the movie. We see a big waterfall.
Yeah, except for they ruin it because they walk around cawing.
Hello.
They're like,
hello.
they're like, caw at first, and I was like, why are you ruining this?
You really don't like going out in nature or the woods, do you?
Well, I didn't want to hear them cawing over a waterfall.
I mean, nobody's there.
I mean,
So,
shut
yeah,
the
they're
fuck
doing-
up for 5 seconds.
They're doing silly echo games. Daniel starts taking pictures, and I think Jonathan and Warren, they decide, once they get to the spot they're camping at, they decide they have to go back to the van to get the rest of the stuff. Yeah,
mainly the wine, I think.
They're getting their booze. So Daniel, the photographer, and the girls are waiting for them to get back, and they start hearing weird noises. And it's really just them doing another bad jump scare. It's their friends.
Yeah, because they come back, and they're like, the RV got broken into.
Yeah, they just mentioned that in passing.
But no one cares.
No, yeah, the RV got broken into. Let's act like people that aren't us are sneaking up on them, even though there clearly are people out here.
Yeah, it's
somebody
whatever.
broke in, and we're off the beaten road, like we're off the grid, and somebody got all our booze. Hey, what if the girls thought we were sneaking up on them and it wasn't us?
And I think Daniel pees on himself.
Yes, I asked that. Did he really pee himself, or were they just?
I think that has to happen in every Backwoods.
And also, like,
who hasn't pissed themselves?
All that for some fucking wine that they want. Okay.
Well, I don't know. They know how to camp, I guess, but they're ritzy kids.
But Connie's super pissed about this whole thing. You could kind of tell Warren wasn't getting any action
uptight about it. Yeah.
But that's part of the theme is the Connie letting go as the movie progresses.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, I mean,
so
Connie's uptight, but she's hot, man.
We see the dawn. And there's a waterfall the next morning. There's several dawn shots in this. And so Warren is apologizing about scaring them the other night. And Connie's berating herself for not grabbing the knife. She's like, Megan went right for the knife, and I was just turned to stone with fear.
I'm like, get over it, Connie.
So they're kind of hugging and making
make up for it later.
And they hear a girl singing and then the echoing from the waterfall. So the whole crew goes down to the pool and they find a girl.
Wait, before they find her, though, you get to watch about 5 minutes of 4 out of the 5 characters falling down the hill.
Yeah.
It's cute.
It's like 5 minutes of the movie. Everyone but one character rolls down the hill, and not in a fun way, like they fell down the hill. And I was like, why is Jonathan in the water when he can't swim? Because Danny says, I don't think my brother can swim. And I was like, well, why don't you know that your brother can't swim? And then he says, I can't swim, and why is he in the water?
Well, I mean, he can fall down a hill.
Yeah, I mean, true. So then that's when the mountain twin.
They're walking, and one of the characters, I guess, throws down an empty cigarette packet. Yeah. And you see this booted foot of the killer stomp on that.
Littering.
Isn't he across the way from his sister or?
You don't see them together
girl?
At this point. This is where we get to the rope bridge.
Okay, I did like the rope bridge. Yeah.
And I would rather eat a horse's ass than do a rope bridge like this.
Oh, I wouldn't go across it, but I liked looking at it.
I would just say, pick me up on your way back down.
It is very janky.
They go across it. Daniel looks like he's gonna fall off, but he's all right. And then they jump down the hill.
These are all real stunts too. Like them falling down that hill, like earlier. That's a real stunt. This is a real stunt. The dude hanging off. I don't know if it's the actors or not. I mean, I wouldn't imagine, but
somebody fell down that hill for no fucking reason.
Well, Megan does it on purpose. It looked like Jonathan fell down, but then Meg's like, "Oh, that looks like fun."
But then the other two, I think, actually just fall. I don't know.
Warren definitely takes his time.
Warren takes his time because he watches. I guess because he was smart enough to watch his other friends fall down the fucking hill. But
that's a good way to really get hurt.
Yeah, it is.
The dad in me coming out. But so they go swimming, and Connie's like, "I think they need to be alone."
Yeah.
I wonder why. Maybe it's because Megan took her top off.
Yeah. The only tits we'll see in this movie.
Yeah. But that nothing really happens, though. He gets out. He's on shore, but...
He's on... Wait, so...
he's in there for a second.
He says that he can't swim. And Daniel also remarks as they're walking off that
that's what I said. Yeah, he says, I don't think my brother can swim. And I was like, why don't you know that?
So she dunks him, and he... stays under for way longer than you think somebody would and comes up acting like he's dead. It's just a prank. So they start making out, and we see that the girl is watching them.
The little girl, like the little random girl?
Yeah, Mary Cat.
Yeah.
Who we haven't officially met yet. So she's watching them. He does this little prank. But you can tell that she sees something behind them that they don't know is there, and she runs off. The little girl runs off. And the killer goes kind of underwater. And again, Megan dunks him. It seems like there's another prank and somebody's grabbing onto her. But when she looks and sees
killer.
Jonathan at the side of the lake, that she knows somebody was groping her that was not her boyfriend.
But then he says it was me.
He claims
I was
it was
like,
him.
you were on shore. She saw you on shore. What are you talking about?
Ah, man, he's just trying to cup a feel.
But she did.
But it wasn't
she
him.
did get
It was
away.
it was the killer.
And we got
I know,
another
yeah.
shot of some scenery. And we cut to
Wilbur. Roy. Well, I called him
Roy
Wilbur
with
because of
Lucy-
his horse.
Roy's talking to Lucille when Agatha. Oh yeah, Roy's talking to his plants when the horse starts going crazy again. And he goes out there and he finds in the horse's trough. He finds Ty taking a bath.
He's in there face down for some reason. I was like, okay.
Maybe he finished the rest of the whiskey and he was trying to.
But
That's just how
Trying to wake
Tid gets
himself
down.
up.
I was glad.
Tid.
I was glad that with Tid that when he tells Roy that there's about the demons.
Killing Vachel.
But Roy believes him. Like he knows that he's saying demons, but means something else. So he actually like takes him seriously, which doesn't usually happen
At
in
least
these
he
movies.
mentions there's a murder this time.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think that Ty could have figured out a better way to relay this story, but
Tid?
Tid, Tid, who knows? Tid is a different beast.
So you can tell Ranger
is a
Roy
different
is
beast.
getting ready to go find these stinking kids. So we cut to the campsite
Where I
and
wrote, I hate Megan.
Yeah,
That was the
and-
first thing I wrote about this scene.
Megan and Daniel are dancing, and Jonathan seems like he's kind of giving his okay to his little brother to get squirrely with his lady.
Connie's creepily watching for a second until
Connie's getting jealous because Megan is like kind of slutting it up with all the boys. You know?
Dude, this
Give him a
music
little-
they're listening to is
Oh, it's so
weird, too.
bad.
It's like,
I was like,
Daniel keeps turning it up.
I was
Yeah.
sitting there and I was like, I have really bad taste. I know that, and I hate this.
dude, no, it's all I wrote down. All I could like decipher was baby, and that's it.
Yeah, me too.
Like,
But then Connie,
I found the
Connie
scene though,
gets
so
up.
I could hopefully maybe use it as the outro music.
and they're listening to it in the woods, so it's like hyper dance music or whatever. It's like, the fuck.
But Connie finally gets up and starts dancing too. She's
Yeah.
trying to seduce Warren. And we hear a gunshot and the music goes off. And we are introduced to the family that lives a little bit down up on the ridge.
Yeah, Mom, Pa,
yeah,
Kettle.
yeah.
Ma and Pa Kettle and Mary Cat, the girl we've been seeing watching the swimmers.
Yeah, Mary Cat.
Mr.
That's her
and Mrs.
daughter.
Mole.
They say, get off this land. You're going to raise the devil. You're
Yeah.
going to raise the devil.
One shotty, two shotty, three shotty.
And doesn't it very quickly cut back to Roy because he just says something about where he'd sit on a mountain if he sat on a mountain
Well, he...
or something? I was like, glad to know where you'd sit on a mountain. I mean, I don't.
No, yeah, we see Ranger Roy. We see him riding his horse to Silver Lake, and he starts talking to himself about if there were campers, blah blah blah. But then he starts riding in the lake.
Yeah,
I don't know why he's riding the horse in the lake.
but it just kind of cuts from there to a dawn.
Well, Connie says that she wants to leave, and you'd think the others would be with her, but yeah, we get another dawn. This
Dawn.
is dawn
It's
number
just
3.
another dawn.
And we see the campers waking up, and Megan claims that a raccoon has stolen her makeup, and she makes
Why?
Jonathan go look.
Oh,
And then
which
somebody
apparently
makes the joke.
it also means because raccoon stole her makeup, it means she's on the rag. But Jonathan will that's what he says that. But he'll go fucking try to find her makeup that a raccoon stole.
Well,
What?
It's probably because he
they're
knows that
curious
she's on the rag,
animals.
and he knows he better do what she says,
But-
or he's gonna catch her.
We find out who stole the makeup.
Somebody does make the joke. I think your makeup's in this coffee. I
Yeah.
got a kick out of that.
Yeah.
So Jonathan goes looking for the raccoons, but instead finds Mary Cat, and she's caked on this makeup like a clown.
She's the little girl that we think is Ma and Pa's daughter.
And at
She's
first,
the raccoon.
So he asks her.
He's real creepy to her, honestly.
She says, "I saw you naked in the lake," and he's like, "Did you like that?" She kisses him, and he's like,
I wrote Jonathan's being a creep
No,
first. I wrote that before they started kissing.
it seems like there's a bit of rebuffing, but he immediately regrets doing so and starts
But he does
chasing
it twice.
her. Yeah, he starts chasing her to the rope swing, but she acts like she's going to get on the rope swing. It's not a swing, the rope bridge, and she sees something and runs and hides behind a rock. Well, Jonathan's like, "Oh, there's nothing to be scared of," and he starts going over the rope bridge. And
hold time out.
yes,
At this point, I was saying this. What I was saying, I was like, "Is someone gonna fucking die soon?" Because he's chasing around this dumb bitch in clown makeup. And what the fuck am I even watching? And then he's just talking to himself on a rope bridge. I was like, is something going to happen? They told a joke around the campfire earlier. There was never a little
wildling 15-year-old girl. He was just talking to himself the whole time.
He's talking to himself on a rope bridge, running around, chasing a girl in clown makeup. And
it's pretty bad.
Why has no one died?
Well,
We're getting there.
Well, we are about to get there, yeah.
Okay, so
By the way, 52 minutes into the fucking movie. I will be talking about that after you talk about this death. I will talk about that.
Well, so he must have been looking down the whole time.
Won't.
Because when he gets to the other side of the rope bridge and looks up, there's the killer. And he hits him uses serrated machete to hit him in the hand. And then he starts backing up. He's about halfway across, and the killer starts slashing the ropes, and the rope bridge falls like a rope bridge will.
This is kind of a good stunt, though, when he's like falling off the rock.
Oh yeah,
it's an actual like practical stunt, and like I know it's not the actor, but it looks good.
I mean, I guess, but I'm glad that you made it sound that succinct because it's a very boring, tedious, and long as fuck.
So
all of that happened, like from the point A to him dying, takes like 15 fucking minutes.
Yeah, he's hanging on the rope. He blows the whistle. They hear it in the camp, but they don't come to him. They're just
Isn't
like,
that the
"Oh,
point
he's
of the
probably
whistle?
chasing raccoons."
But isn't that the point of the whistle?
No, I thought the point of the whistle
You're
was
supposed
when
to
you
come.
toot when you please.
See, but Jonathan's already set himself up as the joker of the group, so knowing that he has the whistle, everybody else just thinks
I didn't
he's
like
bullshitting.
any of the jokes.
It's the boy who called wolf syndrome. That's a real thing, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Cried wolf.
He's hanging
but-
from the rope. He finally is like, "Okay, I'm going to climb this rope." He, with a macheted hand, climbs up the rope, but when he gets to the top, somehow the killer has gotten across to the other side of the rope bridge. We'll figure that out later. But just boots him in the face. He falls in the river.
and that's another practical effect. That's
So
really
bye,
good.
Jonathan, you fucking creep. That was at 52 fucking minutes into a movie. We waited for 52 minutes. That's out of an hour and a half long movie, okay?
That's what you try to get.
For the second kill. And what did we get in between? What did we get in between these 52 minutes? We got George Kennedy like in Mr. Ed and plants too much.
We got
we got a camp director running around like a fucking maniac with not enough whiskey to be drunk. There was too much in the bottle for him to not be. And then this weird mountain girl with clown makeup. That's what we got in between. And a joke that wasn't a ghost story around a campfire.
I don't know. That's what this guy gets for chasing around like woodland creatures.
Well, I didn't ask for that in a slasher. When nothing was happening for 52 minutes except for clown makeup, Mr. Ed, basically, plants,
And we got George Kennedy.
and them dancing to some stupid fucking bad music, and someone thinking that raccoons are going to steal your makeup.
It kind of was a raccoon.
I thought I liked it until you just explained it that way.
I mean,
Yeah.
I just didn't. I was like, I don't care.
Tell us how you really feel.
I didn't care at that point. I was like, please be over soon.
Yeah.
What can happen now?
30-something more minutes.
30 minutes of, hopefully some people will die.
So at this point, Daniel leaves camp to go take some pictures and says if he runs into Jonathan, he'll send him back. And he gets to the graveyard of the church from the opening. And he's kind of walking around, and he bumps into Meg, who is
Yeah,
out
but
looking for Jonathan.
Before that,
The timing seems a little weird to me.
While that's going on, Warren and Connie are fishing.
Oh, yeah. They actually
Because-
catch a salmon with their bare hands.
While the Megan and Daniel story is going on, Connie and Warren find Jonathan, and Connie seems like really not disturbed by the situation.
So they go out to...
Megan and Daniel.
Yeah, Megan and Daniel go out to the graveyard, and he is taking pictures of her, doing a little photo shoot, acting like she's dead, and they hear something. Oh, yeah, he can't find his glasses.
Yeah, and he goes, I can't see anything without my glasses. And so I was like, my girl.
They hear someone off to the side, thinking it's Jonathan. Meg, her girlfriend,
Her
is like,
boyfriend?
I'm going to make out with
Her boyfriend.
her brother, his brother.
Yeah.
So they start making out, and
how the mountains
Meg's
get you.
back is to the noisemaker, whether it's Jonathan or the killer. It's the killer. So, yeah, Daniel can't see. He thinks he's looking at Jonathan. He's like, man, he looks really angry. And the killer just walks up on them and stabs Jonathan with the serrated machete.
Really
stabs Daniel with the machete.
Anticlimactically to me, because then it cuts us immediately to a fucking tedious, don't give a shit chase scene with Megan.
Yeah, she goes back in the church where she stumbles onto Vachel.
Vachel.
Vachel, sorry.
Vaginal.
Vachel and Tid tie.
Tid's nephew. But the blurry vision effect I thought was pretty cool, where Daniel couldn't tell it wasn't his brother. Okay, so then at some point, she's looking out the church window and she sees the killer with Daniel's camera goofing off because he's an inbred redneck and doesn't know how to use a camera. But we see the killer behind her, and it's like, oh, here's the reveal.
They're
there
twins.
are two killers. They're twins. Okay, so
And they're exactly the same.
She's killed off screen.
yeah, she's killed off
And
screen
that's
while the other twin is
taking-
pretending to take.
And that's
pictures
at 1 hour and 1 minute. So we waited, once again, 52 minutes for 3 deaths. And the last one was the next two were like 18 minutes later.
Yeah, it's a little slow. I'm just wondering why they let that salmon go. That could have been a really good lunch.
Oh,
I thought about that.
Connie
yeah.
and-
So
and Warren.
yeah,
Like,
while all
shit.
this was happening with Daniel and Megan, they were fishing, and she made him put that fish back, and it looked good.
But then they hear Meg scream, decide to go back to camp.
But they find Jonathan
they
dead
found
before the death scene with Megan.
And Warren tries to resuscitate him. It does not work.
And neither of them really act in a manner that I would think was realistic. I don't know. She acted like she didn't give a shit, honestly.
Yeah. Well, she was in shock.
Maybe.
But she, right when it happens, she's like, was he murdered?
Yeah.
Like, she knows what's going on.
Yeah, no,
somewhere.
I think he says,
But they hear Meg screaming,
go
to the camp.
He was murdered, wasn't he?
He was, yeah.
Okay.
And he's like, no. But they hear Meg scream, go back to the camp. And again, she's like, they're dead.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, they're just lost. You're being silly.
Yeah.
So-
His belief in this is like he does a good job as acting about it, but I mean, still, it's like her being like, "No, they're dead."
But he does go to look, and
No, it's Connie getting hard, man.
he does go look though and that because that part has one of the only cool shots in my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, they somehow stumble upon a cat and a donkey at the country house of Pa Kettle. And
Yeah. Oh yeah.
they stumble.
I forgot about that.
They're looking
Yeah.
for the church based on the sound, and they come to the country house. There's another pretty bad jump scare here where the old man with his gun comes right. They hear something at the side of the house. Oh, and then he pops out with his wife. We think.
That's definitely his
Well,
daughter.
but before
And they ask him, they're like, what did you mean when you said raise the devil? And he tells them he has no idea what they're talking about, but they better get off his
I was
land.
like, is this how we're getting this backstory? But he had found Jonathan before that, and he was by himself because he shows Connie, he's trying to find his dead body before that when he's looking for the other two. This is before they stumble on the house. and he has a flashlight out, and you see his flashlight pan over, and you see Jonathan's dead body behind him because it's been moved.
Well, that's a good effect too.
And that was really creepy.
It keeps flashing over, and it's right behind him.
And it's
like
right behind him, but
times.
then he ends up falling, and the dead body does, and then he starts asking him questions, and I was like, "Quit! Leave the dead man alone."
Then he starts getting in his
Right
pants
on, they
because he
go
wants
back
the
to
keys.
They go back to
Yeah.
the camp, and that's when he remembers that Jonathan had the keys, and he leaves her alone. He's like, I'm going to go get the keys from Jonathan. So yeah, he goes back to where the body was, and he can't find the body because they've set it up against the tree with the shades on. So yeah, for a few times you think he's not even going to see the body, and then like when he's right on top of it, he turns around. There's Jonathan. He gets the keys, but he loses his whistle.
Yeah, but when he's getting the keys, it looks like he's fucking him. Like he's trying to
It looks
fuck
like
him.
he's
shaking him, asking
pants.
me questions.
Come on, man. Come on.
I'm like, quit asking him fucking questions. He can't
give
answer
it to
you.
me, man.
Just do what you need to do.
God.
So I think once he gets the keys, he gets freaked out and he runs back to Connie, who he probably shouldn't have left at camp alone anyway. No. And that's when we go back to Ranger Roy, and he is at the old man's house.
He's not doing a good job.
Yeah, the old man says he ain't seen nothing.
Yeah.
The girl tries to
also,
speak
Mary
up.
is not a child.
Yeah.
By the way, she doesn't look like the young
22-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
She's just a scared.
She tries to talk to the ranger, but is told to shush. And George Kennedy leaves. Ranger Roy leaves, and she gets Mary Cat gets beaten a little bit, and that's when we find out that the murderers are her kin.
Yeah, they're all kin. And also, at the same time, there's one of the twins is chasing Connie at this point.
Yes.
It's already and that's a fucking long, stupid chase scene. But
Mary Cat chases down
But that
Ranger.
one pays off.
at that point, yeah, Mary Cat chases down Roy.
And she tells him that she knows where they're camping.
So, is that whenever she jumps on George Kennedy's horse?
Yes.
Would you say that little mountain, wildling or whatever jumping on his horse is like George Kennedy getting a little Mountain Dew on that saddle?
Lord of mercy.
I just wrote "When will it end?" and it was soon
Connie,
actually. So
and it's at this point when Connie hears the whistle, but when she hollers for Warren, doesn't get a response. She knows. It seems like she knows something's up. So the killer comes into camp and uses that like right next to her and just blows that whistle in her ear. I was like,
I thought that was hilarious.
I'd have been mad. And that's when I really noticed how shapely Connie's buttocks were.
Yeah,
Lord of mercy.
Yeah,
Dude, Connie is where it's at.
Well, I'll go into something else she does after this happens, but
Okay.
Which doesn't make sense.
So she climbs up in a tree, and killer number one starts chopping at the tree with a machete. He still has a serrated machete, So, and I think the ranger hears this.
Yeah, the ranger hears it all. And, yeah.
Is this when Connie climbs the fucking tree?
Yes.
She
Holy
climbs
shit,
that
she
tree.
can't take a joke, but she can climb like a motherfucker. That was fast.
Oh, I saw her feet.
Bare feet.
That was like, yeah,
Like
climbing that tree.
Yeah.
So then,
Connie can climb.
Roy really anticlimactically comes into the scene.
yeah, well, Roy dismounts, draws his rifle, hears something in the bushes, and he almost shoots Warren, who comes out, but Mary Cat is like, oh, that's not my brother. Don't shoot him. And he tells him what's going on. He's like, we gotta go get Connie.
Yeah.
And then Mary Cat sneaks off away from them again, and the boys go to the rescue. The tree gets chopped down. Connie's being a scream queen.
Good stunt.
That
Yeah,
guy,
the guy's
killer
on top of
keeps
her.
blowing the damn whistle.
There's real people that are falling on this tree that are.
And he falls on top of her.
Yeah, after he gets shot.
Well, no, I think he was already on top of her.
Was he?
Because
he
they were afraid, or Warren was afraid that when Roy shot him, that it also shot her.
But
Yeah.
he gets shot. The killer gets shot. All the Deliverance, like Burt Reynolds, the dude who was raping Ned Beatty.
In this movie,
Well,
the director was very influenced by
Connie was
Deliverance,
kind of
so-
like curled up into a ball.
Yeah.
And he was about to hit her with a machete. Pop, pop, pop. Ranger Roy squeezes off 3 into the killer, 1 right through the head with great effect, and the killer definitely falls on top of her. Then Warren comes over and kind of tells her everything's going to be okay, gets her up.
And then somehow she has makeup on. At some point, she puts makeup on.
I think that's a little bit.
I mean, we're at the end of the movie. There's like one more thing that happens.
But there's still 15 minutes left.
No, she puts makeup on and gets really horny. And she gets like really, really hot. Like she's still in. I think it was the shorts that girl gave her earlier.
Yeah, I think it was
gave
too.
her some kind of like dream warrior power or some shit.
So the killer falls on her. She's laying there catatonic. Like Warren pulls her up and tells her everything's going to be okay. That's when Ranger Roy pulls the killer over.
Oh, and he also has. Yeah.
And that's when he gives a little soliloquy about, with so much inbreeding, something's got to snap some point.
Yeah, which isn't information.
It's the most information you're going to get.
Yeah, but it's not. He's figured out this incest after the. Okay, I don't know how he figured it out because he killed one of them, but I'm assuming that Ma is actually Pa's daughter, and the actual Ma is dead. And that Ma and daughter gave birth to the little girl.
That's pretty much what happened.
Yeah, I think so.
Because the twins, I think, I read somewhere, it wasn't in the movie, maybe in the extended cut they talk about it, but the real mom died while giving birth to the twins. And so either Pa or a twin had sex with the daughter to have Mary Cat.
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
Who knows? I don't know.
Well, with as little exposition it is in this movie, it's still like encyclopedic compared to Don't Go in the Woods as far as what's going on.
Yeah, it's not like character die, but yeah.
So after he's like, oh, incest, he tells them to leave. He's like, okay, yeah, there's all this murdering, but you guys get out of here. And Warren says, what are we going to do about our friends? And he said, well, we'll send some people out to find them in the morning. And he's like, they're not dead. They're not dead.
Yeah,
they're just lost.
He is very sure that they are not dead. I do not understand why.
But they're packing up camp. Warren's putting stuff in the bags and stuff. And then Connie comes out with her makeup on. And she's looking all lonely, if you know what I mean.
Except for instead of getting sexy, the other twin comes out. Because this is when I started shampooing my carpet because I was so fucking bored.
They hear something in the woods skittering around. And one of the tents falls down. And he starts joking. He's like, oh, you must have put that tent up. Don't you know what you're doing? And that's when the killer jumps out and whacks him in the side with a machete. Giving Connie the chance to jump on his back, she starts wrestling with this 400-pound killer.
Yeah.
She punches him in the face like some kind of action hero. He gets her in a bear hug. She wiggles free. He gets her in another bear hug.
That's just mountain love, dude.
I think I can sum it up where I said fight scene, don't care except the fisting to death.
Well, yeah, that was my next little note was she punches him down the throat. And she holds it there for a while, and you think she's going to pull out his tongue or something, but really
nope.
the guy suffocates on her arm.
She fisted him to death.
And you can tell she's become the badass that she had wished she was that first night when Warren and Jonathan scared them.
Well, because you don't really know, because in Don't Go in the Woods, there's a final girl and a final boy, which is rare. And in this movie,
also George Kennedy. There's another.
Yeah, but you kind of
final ranger.
There is
a final gentleman, if you will.
I didn't see her.
This is how he got the job with Frank Drebin.
Sometimes you just don't see the final girl coming, and I knew it was going to have to be her if we had a final girl. But
this was early enough to where it might not go by the conventions. But it's funny because Warren is crying off to the side while she is killing this guy.
He was hit by a fucking machete in the fucking torso.
I know, but he's being kind of a bitch. I'm just
he's been kind of a bitch for a minute.
So the bushes move again after our second killer's done, but it's just Mary Cat. And she looks at Connie. Connie gives her some eat shit glare, and the little girl just runs off. 22-year-old girl. They hug. Warren cries. And the sun is rising. It's dawn again.
But all this happened just before dawn.
Yeah.
No, it didn't. There were a lot of dawns.
There were so many dawns.
There's so many. So,
They happen.
which one do you want to hear first? Fun facts or kill count?
Kill count.
Okay, kill count's pretty short, and you know that I have issues with it. Within the first 5 minutes of the movie, Vachel is stabbed through the dick with a machete. 52 minutes later, we have...
Hey, what's the Vachel count on this podcast?
One.
How many times
do we say Vachel and Tid,
Tid.
except for his name's Ty, and
Uncle Tid.
It's just because I wrote T-Y, and then I wrote the and sign, and I thought I wrote a D. I was like, I don't remember having an issue with this guy's name in this movie till now.
It's almost like Space Ghost named Tad Ghostal.
That's totally my fault too. Did you see on my notes how that happened?
I did.
so
good.
I always thought ampersands look like T's.
And it's not
looks
not
like
a
a
real
D.
ampersand either. It's just like no, here it is.
What's
Nick,
up, Tid?
that's what it
Yeah,
I
yeah.
said.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, at 52 minutes later, we have Jonathan, who takes about 15 minutes to be stabbed in the hand and then falls
already.
It
to
took
his
him that
death.
long to get stabbed.
Falls to his death by rope swing.
By rope swing.
Rope
Well,
swing kick
By the
face.
way,
happened.
the next three, this kill, the next kill, and the one after that are all within 9 minutes of the movie. Number 3 is Daniel. He gets stabbed in the stomach, and no one really cares. Next, Megan is stabbed off screen while the twin takes pictures of her. And that is at 1 hour and 1 minute. And then we don't have another kill until 1 hour and 19 minutes of 1 hour and 30 minutes of one of the twins who is shot. And then the other twin is fisted to death. That's what I wrote.
You don't see that all the time.
I did love that. I was like, fisted to death is good. So,
orally fisted.
I have some fun facts on this.
After the oral fisting?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Budget was estimated $1 million. I don't really know if it was. I'm not sure on that. I did not find how much money it made. I do have some information on where it was shown. But so it was originally titled The Tennessee Mountain Murders, even though it's set in Oregon.
Don't go chasing waterfalls.
And then it was also titled The Last Ritual, but that's because the movie originally had strong religious themes behind the motives of the killers, but the director didn't want that, so he was like, cut all of that out. Connie was actually supposed to end up wanting, like, being a bride of this family.
Sister Brad.
And the original was supposed to have 6 campers, maybe Daniel's girlfriend, I don't know. Megan's death was originally supposed to be that she was thrown off of a cliff. I don't know why they changed it, but probably because they already had a cliff death. But and it originally included more of the Logan family and Connie becoming a wife, like I said. The screenplay was heavily influenced by Deliverance, which you can tell. They filmed in... they would have 14 and 15-hour filming days. Chris Lemmon, who played Jonathan, said that Mount St. Helens erupted on a day that they were gone. That they were gone on a vacation from there. But that's not true because per some film talking about this movie being made, it began filming July 7th and Mount St. Helens erupted in March. So that didn't happen.
Liar.
And he said
talk
they
to
weren't
us.
there anyway at the time.
Come
so
talk
whatever.
to us. Start that shit.
The writer of the movie, or no, maybe it was the director, Lieberman.
Jeff Lieberman.
Yeah. The director said, listen, he said he had never seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre or The Hills Have Eyes.
Lame.
That's a lie.
The drunk redneck laughing in the tire tracks.
He tried
dude-
instead of saying that, he was like, I was just really influenced by Ingmar Bergman.
Oh, man.
Bitch, no, you weren't.
Well,
you
I
didn't go see
Barteman is amazing.
I did see
watched
some
the
of the
Virgin
Seventh
Spring.
Seal
I
all
didn't
over
see
this.
Texas.
Yeah.
I didn't see Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The Hills Have Eyes. Lie, but I watched the Virgin Spring over and over. Okay. You probably saw Last House on the Left, which you lying about too.
That's Ingmar Bergman.
That's Wes Craven's version.
It's Wes Craven's version of the Virgin Spring. Yeah. So okay,
Ooh,
it was.
That's damn.
Well,
That's
it was.
totally true.
That's true though.
Is it?
Yeah, Last House on the Left was he made that after watching The Virgin Spring.
Oh shit.
It's based off of that story.
Yeah, we are
I was
not
gonna say,
hating
I was
on.
like,
the Virgin
Yeah, we're not
Spring.
hating on Virgin Spring. That's
It's
that's
fucking
actually
amazing.
No.
true.
Hour of the Wolf is a really good one.
Yeah.
too.
So this movie was shown in regional theaters, mostly in Florida. Shocker. But it was also shown in Kingsport, Tennessee, and Philadelphia. It was released
Philadelphia,
in
Tennessee, or Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was released in France under the title Survivance to capitalize on deliverance.
Survivance.
Yeah.
Survivance.
So
Survivance. That sounds like a
That's-
night that has like
that's
pills.
most of the fun facts about the movie
Sleeping
itself, but there are a lot of fun facts about some of the
Survivance.
actors in the movie.
I think that a lot of that $1 million probably went for this killer cast.
Well, it went to George Kennedy.
George Kennedy, yeah.
I mean, yeah,
All
and then not
$1
get
million
it.
of
Yeah.
it.
So George Kennedy, who played Roy, he was. This is. I'm not going to name every movie he's ever been in because there's a lot, but he's famous for Cool Hand Luke.
He won the supporting actor Oscar for that.
Yeah, 75 episodes of later Dallas. He played Carter McKay, who was he was an enemy of the Ewings. But anyway, he was in Airport.
The Patrick Ewings.
No, J.R. Ewing, like the Ewings from Dallas.
That's the Knicks.
He was in the Naked Gun movies, Dirty Dozen, Boston Strangler, a lot of westerns. He had 7 episodes of Gunsmoke. He was in Creep Show 2.
Creep Show 2.
He played Colonel. He was in the Colonel Chief Woodenhead.
Yeah, he gets killed by the guy who is in Mindhunter. He's the the Indian.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
With the hair.
Yeah, Mike Kellen, the guy who plays Tid,
He's awesome.
Ty, was in Sleepaway Camp, and that's all I really care about. So
He was in the last porno flick, and God Told Me To as well.
I know that he died. He had lung cancer and didn't really tell anyone how sick he was when he was doing Sleepaway Camp, and died before it came out in 1983. So he was probably sick at this point too, honestly. The guy who played Jonathan is Chris Lemmon. He was in Wishmaster.
He was also Hulk Hogan's sidekick in Thunder in Paradise.
Yes.
It's so awesome.
He is in Thunder in Paradise 1, 2, 3, and the 22 episode TV show.
Brother.
He was in Cannonball Run 2.
Ugh.
13 episodes of Knots Landing, which is a spinoff of Dallas. So he was also in Best of the Best 4. I really like the first Best of the Best.
Oh, first one's great.
So good. And also, the last thing he was ever in was in Roe v. Wade. So,
Oh, how topical.
sorry, guys.
Sorry,
Weren't
ladies.
we all?
That was in
Abort the
2019.
court.
So, the guy who played Warren, Greg Henry, was in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. That was
And-
Slither, right? Nick, you were
Apparently
talking about
Slither.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Slither.
Well,
He was the mayor. Yeah.
we have Ralph Seymour, who played Daniel, and he was in...
He was in some killers.
He was in Killer Party. He was
Ghoulies.
in Rain Man.
Yeah.
He was in Pee-wee's Big Adventure. He was in The Relic.
Oh, I remember the relic.
With Tom Sizemore?
Mira Sorvino.
Oh.
Yeah. And
What
Megan,
are the podcasts you're going to hear Mira Sorvino shouted out on today, huh?
not many. Megan was played by Jamie Rose, and she was in 44 episodes of Falcon Crest, which was the Dynasty spinoff, which was, whatever. And she was also in the movie Lying Eyes, which is one of my favorite TV movies ever.
She's also one of the main Chopper Chicks and Zombie.
That
Town.
is one of the best movies ever fucking made. That
Ever
movie
made.
fucking rules. One of the dudes, crematorium guy from Return of the Living Dead is the zombie guy, the zombie keeper in that movie.
The guy that's in part 2 of Nightmare on Elm Street, or the other one?
No.
The one that was in part 1 and 2
no,
of Return of the Living Dead. The other
he's
guy.
like-
Well, no, he's only in the first part.
No.
He's the
But they're him and Tom whatever are both in 1 and 2. They play different characters.
She's like, what's
though.
in the bags?
no.
Rapid Weasels.
The guy who runs the place where they try to burn the things.
You mean the guy that was in Nightmare on Elm Street 2?
He's wearing the
He's the dad in Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
He's got that burgundy
His name's
sweatsuit on.
Kluger.
No.
Then it's the other guy that's in Return of the Living Dead 1 and 2.
The guy who owns the crematorium, the funeral home.
I know. That's what I'm showing. Yes, it is.
No, it is not.
Time to GTS.
Yes, it is.
No, it is not.
Okay.
Chopper Chicks from Zombie Town. Look him up. And then you'll find his IMDb or whatever.
It's the guy that's wearing like the burgundy.
Yeah, he's like the secret
jumpsuit.
Nazi. He's got a Ruger and everything. And
It's called Chopper Chicks.
From Zombie Town.
Okay, hold on. I'll check this out.
What Chopper Chicks in Zombie
Are you sure it's
Town.
Clue Gallagher?
It's not. I don't think it's Clue Gallagher. It's this
not.
guy who is in Return of the Living Dead 1 and 2.
Yeah, that guy.
Yes, it's
Don
this.
Cafa?
Yeah,
Well, I didn't know he was in 2, but you were talking about.
Y'all are talking about the same guy.
No, they're all kind of like whatever.
Oh, goddamn! All right. Fucking...
And Connie wasn't really in any. Like I looked at
She's
her
in
thing.
Ghost Fever with
I feel like that
Ghost
fight we
Fever
just
with
rolled a bunch of D&D
Richard
dice,
Pryor.
and like you kind of just like won by an inch.
Actually, I think you might be right. I think that might be a different character. Like that he's only in it for a second.
That's not Clue.
Yeah,
whatever.
no, I know it's not Clue, but there's another guy. Anyway, it doesn't fucking matter.
It's Don Cafa. Caifa.
I thought you said kayfabe, and I was like, it's not kayfabe either.
This ain't the wrong podcast. This ain't the wrestling podcast.
It could be though. I do love Dark Side
It's
of the
starting to
Ring.
turn into it.
Well, anyway, all right, guys, that's it. So what's your rating?
Who are you asking? You. 3.5.
I almost gave it. See, when I put in camaraderie, I had 0.5. Was it actually good? 0.25.
We are doing D&D.
I did all this
Holy
stuff.
shit.
When I added it up, it had like a 3, and then I realized it bored me to fucking tears. So it got a 1. I don't care how it gets
These
a 1.
movies are
I'm gonna go
rolling
straight
status
3.
dices.
Do you go
Straight
3?
3. Yeah.
See, the worst thing a slasher can be, you can be the shittiest fucking movie, but the worst thing you can be is fucking boring,
There was
especially
a
in a
horse named
slasher.
Agatha.
It wasn't that.
And it
boring.
bored the fuck out of me. Every moment there wasn't a kill, 52 minutes, nothing was happening.
I wish there were more of the twins on screen. I want to see the twins, like them being stupid together.
yeah, like in Mother's Day when they had that
Yeah.
montage working out. That would see like something like that.
that would have done a lot.
I think the movie is just trying to scare people from hiking.
Well, it didn't scare me from doing anything. So stay gagged on stay gagged on, I don't know, Tid.
Stay dad on Debbie Vincent.
I said stay gagged on Vachel.
On Vachel. Stay gagged on fisting someone to death.
Through their orally fisting.
Orally
someone to death.
fisting someone to death.
No. Old Debbie Vincent, stay gagged on that ass.
And I guess
And hey, Debbie Vincent, if you're out
Stay
there,
gagged on Rope
hey,
Bridge.
come
Yeah.
talk to us. I'm available.
Yeah, Nick's always available.
Stay gagged
Always.
on useless shots of the dawn.
Of many dawns. And be ready for more than one.
I've woken up at the crack of dawn, and he didn't mind, but I didn't like it.
Donald?
Stay gagged on all of our social media, TikTok, Instagram, Gag Me With a Knife Podcast. And you can get our merch at gagmewithaKnifePodcast.com. And we will see you next time, next week.
Money, hubba, hubba,
More
hubba.
Backwoods
Ciao.
horror.
Come on, stop it, Megan.